I'm now sitting here, Cowboys starting quarterback Tony Romo, and first of all, looks great. He's got 10, 15 years left. Look at this, the $1 million smile. First of all, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yes, collarbone's in shape, intact.
It is. It's getting stronger. It's been running on the treadmill, so it's really a good thing for my collarbone. He's strengthening every day.
Nice. What is the process like? I've always been curious about this. When you suffer these injuries that do affect your season, the bounce back process, when you put so much work into preparing for a season, and it's not just the physical, it's the mental process of getting over that hump and preparing for something new. What is that like?
Well, I think what you find is, I've always felt like if you just get into a routine, it's all the best players, all the best broadcasters, they have a routine, they go about their business and they just follow that. And there'll be times where there'll be bumps in the road, there's different seasons to life, and I feel like you just kind of get back on and you do what you know how to do. And for me, it's just the little subtle changes will just be ensuring that the collarbone doesn't break next year.
Right.
And so in that process, I can help our team by just playing. And I have to just do the little things like I normally do to make sure that I play. And then, we'll let the doctors and other people make decisions on the collarbone.
All right, and of course, we're in the off season. The draft is coming up, and quarterback, a notorious meticulous position in preparation. To what extent do you look at the draft and say, whether it's to a GM, whether it's to coaches, I'm looking for a receiver who does X, Y, and Z. I'm looking for a tight end. I'm looking for an offensive lineman that does this. To what extent do you have sort of input into that process?
I'm actually lucky that I don't have to make those decisions. So for me, I just need to get better. I need to improve as a player. I need to figure out how to get, in a position to help our team win a championship next year. So they pay a lot of other people to make, the big decisions. And I'm sure that you guys help them out in that sometimes.
I am 100% with my track record. Like, draft this guy 100%. Quarterback also a position, perhaps more than any position in sports, in the spotlight. And obviously we see these stories in the off season. Johnny Manziel, for instance, just with his off-field troubles. Talk about what is it like? What is that spotlight like from the inside when you have that pressure, when you have the cameras, when you have people examining every single move on and off the field?
Well, I think you just find that, as a quarterback in the NFL, a lot of people depend on you to be at your best.
Right.
And it's almost a responsibility to be that. And you control the fate of a lot of lives. And when I say that, I mean, when you lose and your team's not very successful, coaches lose jobs, homes, they got to move areas, and players come and go. And, if you don't play well very long, you're gone. And I just think the responsibility for quarterbacks in general, more than anything else, is just you need to be at your best, and you need to recognize that you're a player and a coach at the same time.
Is that fair that the expectations are so high off the field to sort of hold that bar so high?
Well, I think honestly it goes back to what I told you before about you just got to make it a routine. This needs to become who you are, and I feel like for me, that's my approach and what I do.
So on the field, quarterback, again, an examined position. And we've seen over these past few years that it's become increasingly difficult to play quarterback in the NFL at a highly successful level. We see guys going into their late 30s now that are succeeding. But what do you think it is about the evolution of the league that has made playing the position what appears to be so much more difficult?
Well, the defenses continue to evolve. And for me, when I first got in the NFL, the evolution of that has made offenses really,
How so?
Well, just the pre-snap ability to recognize subtle things matters more than it ever has before. And if your quarterback doesn't get you, it's not even about changing plays.
Right.
It's mostly just about protections. It's about the ability to recognize different looks and then for your brain to understand conceptually what they can do after the snap based on the formation that they're giving, and basically spatial awareness and your ability to see it, one snippet of a tape on a Wednesday morning at 9:30, and you can have recall to that based on just the movement by the middle linebacker and why he's 2 yards wider.
Right.
And it's like that's such a difficult thing to coach, that sometimes people have that and sometimes they don't. But for the guys who just have the God-given ability and go work at it as hard as you possibly can, they just have such a advantage. And for the guys who don't, it just becomes very difficult. That's why you find older guys playing such a high level, because the intelligence it matters to the end. It's just more important now, because of you helping everybody around you pre-snap, right at the snap, getting the protection right, having that flash recall, and it's so precise. I mean, it's just a big advantage.
Do you think, by and large, quarterbacks come into the league prepared to deal with what NFL defense is going to throw at them? Why is that?
It's just they haven't seen the complexity of it. It's, in college, I mean, these guys literally, the defensive players, same with the offense, but they spend all day going over their defenses.
Right.
8 hours, 10 hours a day. In college, it's
you don't have that time.
No, it's 2 hours.
Right.
It's practice and you get one meeting. It's unrealistic to think that that's even in the same class. And then on top of it, they're all just, every player at your college, you have one guy who's the best player.
Yes.
And that's the guy who gets the NFL. And most of those aren't even good enough to. So take the rounding 20 colleges. Now let's take the one guy who's the best of them.
From each of those, yeah.
And that's the guy playing in the NFL. And he's trying to make the team.
All right, and you're here in support of a very cool thing that's going on at the Super Bowl Stadium this year. A very comfortable thing. What are you working with?
So I'm here with Courtyard, and Marriott Rewards. And so Marriott Rewards basically gave 50 tickets to a sweepstake winner.
Nice.
Which I'm not even sure how that's possible to get 50 tickets. And then Courtyard, actually, I went and saw this. A lady won in Alaska. 4 people get to spend the night at Levi Stadium in a suite, and they turned it into a Courtyard room. And she's going to wake up in the morning and look out her window and open the blinds and be like, oh, and there's the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that's a pretty cool deal. We've been surprising them this week. It's been fun.
And hopefully Coldplay won't put anybody to sleep, but if they do, you got to bet right there.
I love
comfortable.
Coldplay. I love
you love
Coldplay.
I'm just saying it's a very soft sound sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Romo, thank you very much. Check out the Courtyard by Marriott at the Super Bowl. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate you.